Knowledge is power. Or, at least, that's what I've been told. In our digital age, where everything seems to live in the cloud, the vast resources of knowledge that we can access at the touch of a fingertip are overshadowed by funny cat videos, politically charged media, and the illusion of connection. Maybe I'm being too harsh. After all, the nature of the internet is constantly changing, and so are people's interests. So, if these handheld, pocket-sized computers we carry around all day are being used to tweet, chat, and share pictures of each meal we have every day, how does knowledge fit into all this? If people are so disinterested in educating themselves, what does that mean for the original source of information? The library. Do we actually need libraries today? What can they do for us if we can find nearly everything on their bookshelves in a digital format online?
So it is an interesting question as to the depth that one can achieve, say, just going on the internet. And there are books available. Now, one of the interesting things about Google is that it has launched this enormous project in which it's scanning books. The Google ethic is to make all of that information available. Now, were that to come fully to fruition, then the library really has a run for its money. But the question is less whether libraries have become irrelevant and more how Google has transferred what the library was into its enormous online holdings. And in that case, then the library is still relevant, but it's in now a somewhat different form. And we also see this form as well in, say, our own library here at Nevada State College, which is primarily digital in the form of ebooks.
It's true. Walking into the newly constructed library at Nevada State College, there isn't a single book in sight. So, in that case, why call it a library, and why not a study room, or a quiet room?
So, with that changing nature, then yeah, the library becomes kind of a study space, a quiet space, a space that might kind of prompt, some academic work. I go to the library to work, because I'm away from other, stresses of life and other distractions and that kind of thing, and it makes me think about working. And in that way, it can certainly be helpful. But there's not a book in that library. And so, accessing those works is not part of it necessarily.
Academic institutions might adapt their resources to meet the needs of the modern tech-savvy student. The college environment, for the most part, can afford to make changes to stay relevant. But what about libraries that serve the community?
It's really great to compare these sort of community libraries versus an academic library. Because the community libraries, at least from what I've seen, still receive, a fair amount of use. For instance, my family uses them to take our son to check out books, children's books.
Enter the Paseo Verde Library in Henderson, Nevada. Active. Lively. But somehow, the traditional component that makes up the library seems to go relatively unused. So, what's the point of the library?
I think libraries are right in the middle of the digital culture. I think a lot of people don't realize it, but libraries have always been an area that always tries to keep up with technology. I mean, we're known for having books, but book was just a form of technology for many years. It was about the information contained in the books, and as that format changes, so do we. We change to keep up with that and make sure we're relevant.
I think this is one of the best services that the public library can provide in this age to bridge what we call the digital divide and make technology accessible and available to people that don't have enough money to buy all the fancy equipment that some people have. But there's a great number of people who don't, and the library is one of those places that provides that to them.
It's not just some antiquated place where people used to go to just to get books. We have so many other services, a lot of e-services. You can download books, magazines, movies, songs, all sorts of stuff. So we want to show that, that we're changing with the times as well.
The Henderson libraries appear to be progressive entities. They're keeping up with the times. electronic downloads, ebooks, things you might find on the internet, but open and accessible to the general public. Does this mean that physical books are on their way out, just as they have been at Nevada State College?
I wouldn't say so. People are always worried about, ebooks are coming and there's going to be no print books, but people still love to read print books. They still love opening that book. They love the smell of it. They love, just like carrying it around with them, just having that tangible item. And a lot of people love ebooks, which is great too, because you can have so much at your fingertips at any time.
Brick and mortar buildings, books, things that you can touch, things that you can read, I hope will never go out of style. I hope it never leaves us, or that we forget about them.
I think libraries are stuck in this traditional role of being about a book and story times. So you check out your bestseller and you bring your kids to a program. And then your kids grow up, and then maybe you bring your grandkids to story times and you check out some books while you're here. And people are not thinking about libraries in the type of technology and services that we offer now. They just aren't. And part of that's our fault. We don't do enough to promote that, to promote what we really do.
So, the libraries are a different place now. They are molding to the needs of the community. But there's got to be something more to it. The Paseo Verde Library is teeming with life. Are all these people really here just to find an ebook? Or is there something else behind it?
It's not just, coming to check something out and leaving the library, but spending some time in the library and actually it's a phenomenon that we refer to as the third place. So you have like your home and you have your work environment, and then the library tends to fill some of that third place environment where people can just come and spend time.
I think a lot of people come to our library just to get out of the house and go somewhere and be with people, even if they're not talking to them, but just to come and read a book with other people who love to read and love the services that the library provides.
I love the library. I've been coming to this library long before I even worked here. Maybe obsolete, maybe because of technology, I'm not quite sure, but the people that do come love the library. They're passionate about it. They're passionate about books. I'm passionate about books. There's still, especially this library, there's a lot of community involvement. There's a lot of inclusion and kind of family-oriented things that go on at this library that are like excellent. I think that's what draws people, especially to this library. It draws them to the library. So
it is a center in the community. Our folks can come in this particular area. It's wonderful because they can come see a show, they can come to the library, they can go to the farmer's market that's at the parking lot just beside us now, and then they can come to the library. They can go to the multi-gen, and then they can come to the library. This location in particular is wonderful for that.
A library to me is a community center where people come to learn, to enjoy their lives, to expand their horizons. And I think it has something to do with everybody in the community.
The sense of community that the Henderson libraries create is awe-inspiring. The idea of collectivity is hard to find today.
It just goes back to being able to be in a place where you really feel like you're making a difference, where you really know that having these doors open makes a difference to somebody every day. That it's just a place in the community and in the country, I think, where there just aren't that many free places to go, and there's no expectation of you other than you need to behave properly, just like you would anywhere else. But any question, we don't judge what information you want to look for. We just help you find it.
I think anytime you come to a new community, you have to make a connection. And I think that people are now connected through their digital equipment, their iPhones or whatever they have. I think they're connected to a wider world. I don't think it's limited to the community you're in, but I think when people come to Henderson, they realize how much Henderson has to offer. The programming, the entertainment, the history, and at some point they want to learn more. They want to connect. The libraries can help them do that.
What we've lost in the deepening mire of consumerist technology is not simply the manner in which we access information, but people. We pretend that we are always connected, always together with everyone we know. But how many places are there that we can all come together, where no one is rejected and everyone is accepted as a unique individual? The library is a place where ideas can be exchanged, opportunities opened, and priority given once again to knowledge and personal enlightenment.